The entire history of the galaxy hinged on a single decision, made in the ruins of the Jedi Temple. Two masters stood over a hologram of a falling hero, deciding who would face the new emperor, and who would hunt down his apprentice. In the original timeline, Yoda sent Obi-Wan Kenobi to Mustafar because he believed his old student wasn't strong enough to fight Darth Sidious. If they had swapped targets, the outcome changes everything. Today we examine the terrifying reality of Grand Master Yoda confronting Anakin Skywalker on the lava fields of Mustafar. Inside the Jedi Temple, the air was thick with smoke and betrayal. Yoda originally insisted on fighting Sidious himself, telling Obi-Wan he was not strong enough. In this scenario, we assume Obi-Wan refuses to fight his brother. He argues that he cannot kill the boy he raised, no matter what he has done. Seeing Kenobi's emotional compromise, Yoda realizes that sending him to kill Anakin would result in failure. The Grand Master decides to take the burden of the fallen Chosen One upon himself by sending Obi-Wan to the Senate to distract the Emperor instead. Before we see who survives these new duels, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone leaving comments on our last theory video. This topic actually came from a suggestion by user Galactic 2026, and this video wouldn't exist without you. Please drop your own what-if ideas in the comments below, as we read every single one and pick the best ones for future scripts. If you are enjoying this detailed look, subscribe to join us for more alternate timelines. As Yoda travels to the Outer Rim, Obi-Wan Kenobi marches into the massive Senate chamber on Coruscant. He isn't looking for a fight to the death, as he is just trying to buy time. The man waiting for him is not a politician anymore. Darth Sidious has dropped his mask. When Obi-Wan ignites his blue lightsaber, the Sith Lord would likely laugh. Dooku was able to toss Kenobi aside with ease aboard the Invisible Hand, and Sidious is far more powerful than Dooku ever was. The Master of Sarisu is about to face the ultimate embodiment of the dark side. On the volcanic world of Mustafar, Padme's ship touches down. The reunion between husband and wife plays out tragically, just as before. Anakin is consumed by his new identity and tries to twist her mind with promises of power. When he looks up to the ramp of the ship, he doesn't see his former master. He sees a small, green figure hobbling down and leaning on a cane. The shock would be instant because Anakin expected Obi-Wan and a lecture on loyalty. Instead, he faces the living symbol of the Order he just destroyed. Yoda's expression wouldn't be sad, but rather resolute. The conversation here changes entirely. Obi-Wan pleaded with Anakin out of love, whereas Yoda has no such attachment. When Anakin shouts that Yoda turned her against him, the Grand Master wouldn't waste time arguing. He would sense the darkness radiating from the boy and accept the truth immediately. He would tell Anakin he is twisted by the dark side, and the boy he trained is gone. There is no warning about high ground in Yoda's mind, but only a duty to remove a dangerous Sith Lord. Anakin's arrogance would peak here, as he would believe that defeating the Grand Master proves his new power. Anakin Skywalker utilizes Form 5 Djem So, which is a style built on brute strength and crushing counterattacks. He breaks defenses by hitting harder than his opponent can block. Yoda is the master of Form 4 Ataru, which relies on blinding speed and acrobatics. In a small space like the landing platform, Anakin's size gives him reach, but Yoda is a frantic target. Anakin is accustomed to fighting humanoids on the ground, so fighting Yoda is like fighting a buzzsaw. Every time Anakin swings his heavy blade, Yoda is already in the air, spinning behind him. Back on Coruscant, the fight goes poorly. Obi-Wan is the greatest offensive duelist of his age, but he cannot block Force Lightning with his lightsaber alone. Sidious toys with his opponent by blasting Kenobi across the Senate pods. Obi-Wan lacks the raw telekinetic power to match the Emperor's throws. Without Yoda's ability to absorb the lightning, Kenobi is overwhelmed. He likely manages to escape into the ventilation systems or falls severely wounded. Unlike Yoda, who could retreat and survive, Obi-Wan's defeat here effectively removes him from the conflict. The Emperor is now unchecked, and sensing his apprentice's danger. On the lava world, the battle moves from lightsabers to the Force. Anakin is arguably the most powerful Force user in history, solely in terms of potential. His rage on Mustafar gave him a massive boost, yet Yoda has 800 years of knowledge. When Anakin tries to force push him, Yoda doesn't just hold his ground, but redirects the energy. Yoda handled Sidious's lightning, so Anakin's telekinetic blasts would not break his defense. Anakin becomes frustrated. His anger usually fuels him, but now makes him sloppy against a master who requires perfect precision to hit. The fight spills into the control room and out onto the mining collection arms. This environment favors Yoda, because Anakin's Djem So style requires solid footing to generate power for his strikes. Yoda is constantly airborne and cares little for the unstable ground. He uses the floating platforms to his advantage by forcing Anakin to constantly reorient his balance. In the original timeline, Obi-Wan survived by knowing the terrain and keeping a defensive distance. Yoda closes the gap and uses his size to get inside Anakin's guard, to slash at his legs and mechanical hand, while slowly wearing the younger man down. The end of the fight comes from speed, rather than a tactical error about high ground. Anakin is blinded by rage and attempts a massive overhead strike to crush the tiny master. Yoda anticipates the move and dodges under the blade to strike a clean blow. Unlike Obi-Wan, who left Anakin to burn, Yoda understands the finality of the Sith. He would not leave Anakin suffering on the bank and would likely deliver a killing blow or capture him if disarmed. For this theory, we assume Yoda is forced to end the threat permanently. With the duel finished faster than in the original timeline, Yoda returns to the ship to find Padme unconscious. Since Obi-Wan isn't there to delay departure, and Yoda senses the life fading from her, he gets her to medical attention at the Polis Massa asteroid much quicker. Padme still loses the will to live due to Anakin's betrayal, but Yoda's presence offers a different kind of comfort. He doesn't carry the baggage of being Anakin's brother and focuses solely on the children. The twins, Luke and Leia, are born, but the context of their safety is now dangerously different. Emperor Palpatine senses the disturbance immediately, as his new prize, Darth Vader, is gone. He has effectively dealt with Obi-Wan Kenobi on Coruscant and is now the sole ruler of the galaxy, yet he has no enforcer. This creates a major problem for the early Empire. Without Vader to hunt down the remaining Jedi survivors, the Great Jedi Purge slows down significantly. Sidious must rely on clones and Inquisitors, and none of them are as effective as Anakin would have been. The Emperor is safe, but his grip on the galaxy is slightly weaker without his primary enforcer. Yoda realizes he cannot fight Sidious alone now, especially after expending his energy on Mustafar. He takes the twins. In the original story, he went to Dagobah to wait, but here, he takes a more active role. Knowing Obi-Wan is dead or missing, Yoda essentially has to become the father figure for Luke or Leia. Luke Skywalker would be raised not by Uncle Owen on a moisture farm, but by Grand Master Yoda in the swamps of Dagobah from infancy. He would be trained from birth, similar to the Jedi of old, creating a warrior far stronger than the one we met in A New Hope. If Obi-Wan survived his duel with Sidious, he would be a broken man, hunted across the galaxy. It is more likely he died in the Senate chambers, and his death would serve as a grim reminder of the Empire's power. He wouldn't be the crazy old wizard watching over Luke, but rather a martyr. His name would be whispered by surviving Jedi as a warning. This changes Luke's journey completely, as he has no link to his father's humanity and only Yoda's strict discipline. The warmth and kindness Obi-Wan provided would be replaced by Yoda's rigorous spiritual teachings. With Darth Vader, the Galactic Civil War looks very different. The Death Star plans might still be stolen, but the question remains of who chases the rebels or kills Biggs Darklighter. Without Vader's pilot skills, the Death Star might have been destroyed even easier, or defended by thuggish admirals who fail where Vader succeeded. Palpatine might have so feel, but the makeup Sofer research quintet is also clicking for them more. If this one failed with another became with build and pretty events. Without Vader's brotherwoods, the range the Death Star file is very believed. Without Vader's pilot skills, the Death Star might have destroyed where Vader said. Pretty general about the dark side user like Maul. The galaxy remains in darkness, but the specific terror of the black armored machine man never exists to plague the free systems. Years later, a fully trained Jedi Knight, Luke Skywalker, emerges from hiding, guided by an aged Yoda. He doesn't have to face his father, but rather, the Emperor directly. This Luke is less emotional, more disciplined, and less likely to try and redeem anyone. He is trained to destroy the Sith. The final battle isn't about saving Anakin's soul, as it is a pure contest of power between the light and the dark. The tragedy of the Skywalker family ends on Mustafar, but the victory of the Jedi might happen years earlier than expected. Swapping these two duels saves the galaxy from the terror of Darth Vader, but it costs the life of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and likely ends the Skywalker bloodline in tragedy rather than redemption. It paints a darker picture of duty over love. If you enjoyed this exploration of the alternate history of Star Wars, subscribe so you don't miss our next theory. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.